It's me, Timmy Flyersguy, and welcome to the latest episode of Classic Flyers Theater with me, Timmy Flyersguy. In this episode, we take you back. We take you back to a segment that used to be very frequent on Flyer broadcast, and that was called Coatseys Corner. In today's episode, we take a look back at Coatseys Corner, the very best of Coatseys Corner. Starring the one and only lovable Steve Coates. These segments aired on Comcast Sportsnet, I would say from 1998 to, I would say maybe two. I'm not really sure. I would say somewhere between 2000 to 2011. So sit right back and enjoy as we take you back to Coatseys Corner, a Flyers classic. Let's go Flyers, and let's go Coats.
Hi everybody and welcome to Coatseys Corner. You know, sometimes you got to get away from the rink and see the players, well, where they live, like we've done today. We've come to Simone Gagne's beautiful home down the street from the skate zone in Voorhees, New Jersey, and talk a little bit of what his aspirations have been in life. And let's talk about that. In fact, Simone, before you played for Quebec City as far as juniors concerned, you were just playing minor hockey. What were your aspirations? Did you really think about playing pro hockey at that time?
That time was just for fun. Was a very fun time growing up in Quebec City, where it's very cold, a lot of snow, and school was my first priority, but hockey was second. And I remember going back a long time ago. After school, I was spending hours and hours on the ice. My dad used to make a little surface on the ice in their backyard, so the ice was available for me like 24 hours a day if I want to, and I was loving that game. I was playing hours and hours, and at that time I was just thinking about fun, and it doesn't matter what was going to happen, but it was very a fun time.
Is this what you really believed it would be like? Or did you have higher expectations? I mean, where did you feel you'd be at this point in your life? Because obviously things are going really well.
Yeah, right now it's a lot higher than I thought. Like, I was dreaming to play in this league for a long time when I was younger. But where I'm at right now, I didn't really expect that much. I was maybe thinking I might play and I'll be on the third or fourth line and play 10 minutes a game and stuff like that, but now I'm playing on the first line, and now I just signed another 5-year contract. So basically, I'm going to be here for another 5 years. So the expectation was not that big when I started.
Simone Gagne holds the rebound, and the Flyers are winners at long last over the Devils.
When you first turned pro, you had the opportunity to have an outstanding player and a great person in Eric Desjardins to kind of bring you under your wing. This is the first year he hasn't been here for you. Has it been a tough transition?
A little bit, yeah. I was used to Rico a lot. I played with him for 7 years. He was my roommate on the road. We used to sit next to each other on the plane. So when we were going through a tough time, we were talking a lot about not only my game but the team and stuff like that. And Rico was very good to listen. And this year, not having him in the team, it's tougher on my side, and I think it's tougher for the team too. You could see it. It was a great player and a great player off the ice to listen. And it's too bad that he had to retire. But no, Rico was a big part of I think my success right now, and I have to say only good stuff about him, and I have to say thanks to him.
Simone, thank you very much for the opportunity to come and visit you in your office here at your house, and wish you all the best of luck with this brand new house that you just bought this summer. Thanks again. And thank you for joining us on Coatseys Corner. We'll see you next time. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Coatseys Corner. I'm joined by Dave Leonardi. Now, you might say, Dave Leonardi, who's here? I'll tell you what. Let me help you, remind you who he is, because this is usually what he's doing. His sign is up in the air. He's affectionately known as the Sign Man. And David, how long have you been around here now?
72, 73 season I started. 36 years.
I'm not going to do the numbers, okay?
No.
I'm not going to do that, because what I want to do is I want to get into the meat of this, because this is great stuff.
Thank you.
Great stuff. Now, this sign here, we'll just start with the Bird Dog Rock. What's that mean?
This is for Scotty Hartnell. He told me his nickname was Bird Dog with 2 G's. So just in case anyone didn't know, the other side says Hartnell now. And if he ever scores instead of throwing the glove, you'll see the sign.
Oh, you're already on it with a glove. Now, you got to zoom in here. We got to bring in, because this is the box full of 100 signs. And they're categorized. I mean, you got it down to everything in here.
That's right. The player signs are in the front. Some of the other quick signs I might need are also in the front. Referee signs are all in one row. 9.4 for the dive. You're hopeless. Can you see white? Plead insanity. Ripped off again. On and on and on.
I like that when I picked up on there, the spontaneity of getting to the sign according to what's happened on the ice.
Exactly.
All right, now we're going to move this along, because we're going to go along here. We got a whole crew here. Okay, nitty gritty, that kind of speaks for itself.
All right, Antero, Ninamaki.
Okay, let's go now. Gagne.
Gagne.
Well, we up all night thinking of that one. I mean, go ahead. Keep sticking with me on
this. At least till about 1:30 in the morning.
All right.
Knuble connects.
I like it.
Right.
I like it. Okay,
and
all right.
of course, if you have Knuble connects, you have to have Cote connects.
He connects an awful lot.
Yes,
and not
he
that
does.
Michael does it. Michael scores goals, but this guy connects
in
with
more
the
than
hand.
one way.
Yes, that's exactly right. How about this one?
One of the more famous signs in the top 10 list of my signs, probably had it since the 1970s, Start the Bus. This is a newer version. Check this out, Stephen, on the other side.
Hold on.
An actual bus from the South Teton Area Regional Transit System.
Oh, so you're getting paid for saying that, right?
No.
Yeah, you go ahead and
actually,
tell me that.
The bus is the red line. It was appropriate. I had to take a picture of the bus, blow it up, and put it on the other side of the Start the Bus sign.
Now, the Start the Bus sign, obviously that's the one, where the goalie's turning around, he's trying to pull all the puck out of his net. He's looking up, and he's looking at you, and he's not too happy.
We have a 3-4 goal lead, with 5 minutes to go in the game. Start the bus. And in the old days at the Spectrum, when my seats were by the Zamboni tunnel, we could literally hear the bus get started and smell the diesel fumes.
What was the worst? Is anybody ever took bang the glass with their stick, come after you at all?
Well, there's one here on the other side that we'll get to it, and I'll tell you that story.
All right, okay, go ahead.
All right, one of the other more famous signs, Ilka score a goal. Of course, Lucas Spiza.
We're waiting for this.
Yes.
Maybe this is the night.
This is the night. I just made the sign today. Luka score a goal. I covered up Ilka with Luka.
Okay, all right. And how about this one?
Aram Asham. I saw him in the one preseason game, and this is a natural. Asham, smash him.
What do you do when you're sitting at home? Do you watch TV at all? Or?
No, these things just...
I just like to know. I mean,
they just come to me.
Other things that are going on here. What about this one?
Sometimes I amaze myself.
This is where we got to look back and see the referee's chart, your eye chart, right?
That's right. This is a mock-up of the Snellen eye chart. And the first 3 letters, the E's go in a different way, the way it would be if you were seated at an optometrist. And then as the letters get smaller, it says bad call, you're hopeless. And then the E's again at the bottom. The first time I used it at the old Spectrum, the glass was lower. There was a wide space between each pane. Matt Pavlich comes up to me, and I swear to God, this is what he says. So you're a horse bleep artist, too, huh?
See, I like that. You got to respond.
And Matty used the bleep. He didn't say the word.
And for Matt to use the bleep because he's a Hall of Fame linesman. How about this one? This is always a favorite, too. The poor guy in the goal. You're giving him grief about that.
And I love to use that. If we get 3 or 4 goals, they pull the goalie, the new goalie comes in, we score again on him, you'll see next goalie.
How about this one?
Cassius Clay to Thrilla in Manila. It wasn't even close. Thrilla and Phila.
Dan, this one goes back an awful long way.
This was an original. They were about half the size as they are now, and I had maybe about 10 or 20 of them, and I used to flip them over, and that was one side of it, TKO for Schultz.
Why? Why back in the early 70s did all of a sudden Dave Leonardi say, hey, I'm going to go and put these signs up. Why?
Before I got my season seats in the second row, I would sit 8 or 9 rows up and yell like a lot of good other Flyer fans. And when I got the seats in the second row, if I yell, it's coming back at the glass on me. No one can hear me. So in those days, banners stretched around the building. Magnificent banners with great sayings. And I thought, you know, there's got to be something. So we made a sign for Flyersguy, then made the sign for Schultz, then Kelly, then the next goalie sign, and it's the original version.
And grown and grown.
Gene Hart.
Which makes you famous here in Philadelphia.
Well, thank you very much.
I appreciate that. And you know what? Despite having all this opportunity at home to be able to do this and be creative, his wife is a lovely lady and still married to him. David, thank you very much. All the best.
Steve.
Have a great holiday.
Thank
Dave
you,
Leonardi, the sign man. That's right, the sign man has been my guest. We'll see you next time on Coatseys Corner. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Coatseys Corner. Back in 2007, Paul Holmgren, the general manager of the Philadelphia Flyers, had a big decision to make. He had the number 2 pick overall in the draft, and the man to my left was that pick, James Van Riemsdyk. And I got to ask you, does that, in looking back, add a lot of pressure to you, knowing that you were the number 2 pick taken overall by the Philadelphia Flyers that year?
You know, it's something that's more exciting than anything, being part of that draft class and seeing the guys around me that were drafted and have had some great success in the league, like Pat Kane as a Rookie of the Year under his belt, almost made it to the Cup final last year. So I just use it as a little extra confidence and motivation, just prove myself and play my game.
Now, Pat Kane's had some success in that time period that you took to go to university. Would you have done anything differently now looking at what Kane's done as compared to where you are as far as your career is concerned?
You know, every situation is a little bit different, and I think those 2 years really helped me develop into my body a little bit more and gain some maturity on and off the ice so that I'm more able to handle the situation I'm in now.
Let's talk about that development, because you went from the U.S. junior program and then all of a sudden draft, and then you've played, obviously, for the junior U.S. team, and then the opportunity to go to University of New Hampshire, and then last year to the Philadelphia Phantoms. Has it been a real good stepping stone for you as far as all these elements, as far as your development as a player and the pace you want to go to?
Exactly. I mean, I've gotten a chance to make some gradual steps. Going out to Ann Arbor was a big step for me and really helped me become better as a player. And then, obviously, going to New Hampshire, playing college hockey against some pretty great talent night in and night out, and making the step to the Phantoms to making the step to training camp. It just was a step up at a time, and just got to work hard and keep at it. What's
been the biggest adjustment for you, let's say, heading from a University of New Hampshire to the pro game? Obviously, the size of the players has a lot to do with it, but just the pace and everything else like that.
Yeah, you know, 2 major things I saw was guys are always in position out there, and you got to make your decisions that much quicker. You just got to make smart plays with the puck and do the little things right, and then your skills can take over from there.
What happens if you do have to go to the minors for any extended period of time? Is that going to be a letdown for you?
No, I don't look at it that way. I feel like I've got to just keep doing what I'm doing and make the decision really hard on the management here to want to set me down. But if I do end up getting sent down, I just got to keep working hard and give them a reason to call me back up. Well, we wish you all the best of luck. I mean, sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but the bottom line to the whole thing is that it'll have a good ending, and we appreciate you taking the time to be with us, James. Thanks for having me. James Van Riemsdyk been our guest, and thanks for joining us on Coatseys Corner. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Coatseys Corner. It's an honor to welcome an old Philadelphia Flyer, the 40-year-old captain of the Atlanta Thrashers, Scott Mellanby. Let's look back at that. 1985-86, he came out of University of Wisconsin, played 2 games that season. And can you imagine that you've been in the league now 20 years?
Yeah, it's certainly exceeded my expectations, and just ran into an old teammate of mine, Mark Howe, in the hall, so it was pretty fun to see him. And but yeah, it's gone by fast, but you know, it's just something you don't set out planning to play for that long. I've just been lucky with my body's held up pretty well, and you know, it's been great.
Let's talk about your body holding up that long, because now you're over 1,400 games. You've got a team with the Atlanta Thrashers with the additions that you
It's a
made.
little slower back then.
Yeah. With the additions that Donnie Waddell, your general manager, made at the deadline, that this team could have a crack at what you don't have yet, and that's the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's a big void for me and Mike. I think sometimes players say it, if it doesn't happen for you, it's not that big a deal. But for me, it is, and it's this will probably be my last chance. So I've come to Atlanta to try to help a young team get in the playoffs. We've gotten a little older, and with some of our additions, we've gotten even older. But I think we're in a position where we have a team that hopefully we're going to make the playoffs here and have an opportunity to make some noise.
I got to pick up on what you said there. Last chance. Does that mean that this is the year that you're going to call it a day, or is it last opportunity because of the type of hockey team you got right now?
I think this team with some of the young players they have is set up for a lot of years to come. But I'm going to cross the bridge when I get to it after the season's over. But I think in all likelihood this will probably be it.
A lot of people don't realize that your father was Ralph Mellenby was the longtime executive producer for Hockey Night in Canada. So you had hockey in your blood. Was there any given time that it wasn't going to be hockey? It was going to be actually the production of the game of hockey on television?
Well, I don't know about that. When I went to Wisconsin, I did, start off. I was there for 2 years and got into some introductory and communications courses in radio and television, history of radio and television and film. And I guess I was kind of headed down that road, but I don't know. I've been fortunate enough to do this for a long time, and it's been a great thrill to play in the league. It's been a thrill for my dad too, and over the years, running into tons of people that he worked with and people that worked for him. It's always special to hear the great things they have to say about their relationship with him. So it's been pretty unique.
When you take a look at these highlights, I mean, when you think of the success that you had here in Philadelphia and the closest you came to winning a Stanley Cup back in 1987.
Yeah, it's disappointing, when you start your career on such a good team and you go to the Stanley Cup Finals right away and we lost in Game 7. You kind of, as a young player, you don't realize how hard it is to be there and to you have to have a lot of things go your way. And when I got back there one time with Florida, but it would have been a nice way to start, that's for sure. But that's the way it is. I've got great memories from that team, and like I said, seeing Mark was special, and would have been pretty neat to finish it off. But we lost to a great hockey team.
Tonight is Awareness of Autism Night here with the Philadelphia Flyers, and I know that you're very heavily involved. You've got a foundation in your name because of your son Carter. Also, you've worked very hard for Athletes Against Autism with Byron Dafoe and Olaf Coatseys. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Oli and myself and Byron a couple of years ago, we all kind of found, through the grapevine, found out we all shared that common bond with having autistic children. And I had my own foundation at the time, like I said, but we decided we wanted to try to do something together. And, so we started this Athletes Against Autism, and it's kind of taken a couple of years to get things going, but we had our first golf tournament last year out in California, and, just trying to build it slowly. And a lot of the buildings around the league, I think we're up to about 8 or 10 this year that they're having. We did it in Atlanta about a month ago, just having autism awareness nights and trying to bring, not necessarily, obviously raising funds is a big part of it, but also just raising the awareness of what an epidemic it is now. In the world and in the United States and Canada, and so it's been fun to do it together with guys that we're enemies on the ice, but we're friends off the ice, and we're real thrilled that the Flyers are doing it for that tonight.
And I know it's going to be a great night, and Scotty, I really appreciate you dropping by and talking to us. Congratulations on a great career. Best of luck with the Atlanta Thrashers in the playoffs, and continued success with your foundation.
All right, Coatseys, thank you.
Scotty Mellenby's been our guest. Thanks for joining us on Coatseys Corner. We'll see you next time. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Coatseys Corner. As we move around the National Hockey League, we always like to visit former Philadelphia Flyers. With me, former defenseman Brad Marsh. 514 games, as a Philadelphia Flyer, 1981 through 88, and obviously some great times for you in your career.
Most definitely. I loved every minute of being a Flyer. It really woke me up. I came from Atlanta, then we went to Calgary, and then I was traded from El Bridgman, and I was in the NHL, but I often think, and when I speak around and give talks to various schools or hockey groups or whatever, I was in the NHL, but I didn't become a real player until I became a Flyer. And that's just the mystique that was in the dressing room, the Bobby Clarks, the Pat Croce's, Paul Holmgren, and it was such a good, huge impact on me.
Now, you've moved on. I mean, you played 50 games here for the Ottawa Senators, but you made Ottawa your home. But you were married to a local girl, Patty Quayle, brought her up here to Canada. How did she take that move to Ottawa from her nice home there in South Jersey?
Well, our first move from South Jersey there was to Toronto to play with the Leafs, and so that was I don't know if it was a shock or an eye opener. Not so much to me and Patty, but to the rest of the family, that one of them was actually moving outside that little radius, Somerdale, New Jersey. But anyhow, it was great to go up and be a Leaf, and then when we ended up here in Ottawa, and it was obvious that my NHL career was over, we had a couple offers to do this and move around and coach in the minors, play in the minors, or go back to junior and coach. But we decided enough was enough, and let's just hang our hat here. And basically, you go where the job is, and Sens offered me a pretty good job, so I stayed here.
Well, tell me about your restaurant. I mean, how all of a sudden did you get into the restaurant business?
Well, it happened quite by accident. I don't know, for those of you that followed the trials and tribulations of the Senators, after we became back into the NHL in '92, like we were on the selling block many times. We were moving here, we were bankrupt here, and the owner didn't have money and actually changed ownerships from the first owner to Mr. Bryden. Then they opened up the Palladium at that time. Now it's the Crown Center. I shouldn't say it was the Crown Center. Now the Scotiabank Place. But they didn't have a tenant for their #1 restaurant spot. And for whatever reason, Mr. Bryden knocked on my door and asked if I'd like to take a try at it. And I said okay. And so it's been pretty good. Lockout year was pretty tough. Not only for myself, but anybody that's a sports bar owner. It was a tough year up here in Canada.
Let's flip back to your years with the Flyers. I mean, any great memories while you were there?
Well, obviously, '85 and '87, we went to the finals twice, and like I said, I speak around quite a bit, and that's the question, the highlight of my NHL career, and unfortunately, they both end on a sour note, because the highlight was getting to the finals, 7th game of the Stanley Cup Finals in '87, but we lost both times. So I always make the joke, I'm probably the only guy that hates Wayne Gretzky, because he's got 2 rings at my expense. But no, Philadelphia was just a great place to play, and I mean, there's a busload of Flyer fans up there. They come every year, sometimes twice a year, to cheer on the team. So I was up just taking a whole bunch of pictures with them, and a lot of new Flyer fans, which is good to see. But there's still a lot of old guard that remember the Spectrum and remember in my opinion, the good old days.
Well, Marcy, I appreciate it. You know, you'll still, in my memory, be the only guy ever in the National Hockey League drive a former Lands and Forests truck.
Yeah.
We won't talk about that.
Yeah, well, it got me from A to B.
That's exactly right. White yellow truck with a ugly yellow truck. Brad Marsh, great to see you.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you for joining us on Coatseys Corner. We'll see you next time.
Since the early 1980s, Steve Coates has been a mainstay of the Flyers broadcast team, and Keith, you've had to put up with a lot during that time.
Yes, I have, and during that time, he's pulled many a prank on many a different Flyer in the organization, including myself. But recently, one stray stick opened the door for the Flyers to turn the tables on Coatesy.
This one probably goes right to the top of the heap.
The ultimate prankster getting pranked.
This one had all the players, all the major players involved.
Coatesy had been cut in a game, and you know, as he sits between the 2 benches. And actually, it was Bob Clark said to me, you know, we ought to find a way to screw him. And so I called up Lou Bostic, our risk manager, who's been with us many, many years, knows Coatesy and everybody. I said, Lou, you've got to write Coatesy an official letter telling him that he has to wear a helmet and a visor.
I said, oh, no, I mean, they're really serious. I thought it was a big joke at the time, but it just got worse after that.
He grabs Homer and says, you know, what's this, you know, you heard anything about this helmet and visor I got to wear and everything? Of course, Homer had been tuned in. I had called him, and he had said, yeah.
I had talked to all the people involved saying, hey, listen, come on, just tell me this is a joke.
Coatesy tried his darndest to get out of it. He did not want to do it.
Tell me, it's going to go away. It didn't go away.
Sean Tilger and I sit down with him, and I go, you know, Coatesy, I don't know if it's permanent, but right now there's a $300,000 premium we're going to have to pay if you don't wear the helmet.
You can't get any higher, so you would figure when he tells you that it's the real deal. I guess you're wondering why I'm wearing this.
I think he thought right up until the last moment before the game he was going to be told maybe it was a joke, but then the helmet was waiting for him out there, and he had to do it.
You got to wear that now, or what? You have to wear it? I don't know. You look good.
And then it was flopping all over his head.
Now Haven't I come a long way?
Yes.
And this is why, I'm going to show you, this is why I didn't wear a helmet when I played. First of all, you didn't wear it. You didn't wear a helmet. But the other thing is that I could never get one that would fit the flat part of my head.
Which is the back
so this
part
thing's,
of your head.
yeah, so you have two things happen. The shield's going to come down. I'm not going to be able to breathe. It's going to be hotter than a firecracker by the end of the first period. I can't see to begin with. And the helmet's not going to fit right.
You can't see that it...
Outside of that, everything's just peachy down here.
I couldn't stop laughing, just watching him fumble, and he's such a good guy, but you knew he hated it. You could tell he was embarrassed. The referees were giving him a hard time laughing at him.
And you know, one of the other big stories of the first period, Jonesy, Coatseys' first period, donning the lid. Wearing the helmet?
I don't like wearing this helmet. I can't wear my glasses. I can't see it. It's too hot.
All right, Coatesy, look into the camera now across the way.
Yeah?
You've been punked.
Oh, no, you guys could kid me. Those guys did this?
Yeah, your buddy Peter Luco got you good, pal. Nice legal letter from the league, and you are hook, line, and sinker. You are a beauty.
But hold on.
You can now take your helmet off.
Yes, that's the good news.
Hold on. No. I got to tell you something. I had an idea that something was up, so let me show you. Hold on.
There you go. Yeah, now that one fits better.
Yes, and it shows your red hair off, too.
Hold on. This can add, what you can do is you can be the goal line.
Just put that on.
If I get hit again, you see, then it'll just go on. Say I got hit.
Let's be honest. Coatesy looks pretty silly in that mask and helmet, so I think it's a good thing that he doesn't have to wear it.
It was a great joke, and I'm glad they got me on it, and I'm glad that it's gone away, because there's no way in the world I could have worn that helmet.
All right,
and I got to get even with all those guys now.
Good luck, though, trying to get Peter Luco and Sean Tilger back, Coatesy. Be very careful with that one.
No, there will be no repercussions and no retaliation.
I am fully expecting him to do something to me. He's setting the hook for me. I don't know what it is and when it's going to be, whether it's the shore or somewhere, but I know Coates will get his revenge.